I do a one-man show. It's called George Foreman Calls Things George.
Welcome to Then You Ruined It, a podcast where two friends who refuse to meet in real life give each other plenty of reasons to stick to that opinion.
So we have a Ring doorbell now, and it's super annoying. It's also very handy. Rarely does somebody arrive that I don't know they're coming or going. Like, if my wife is going out to the store, it rings and when she goes out the door, and I'm like, okay, saw that coming. Also, side note, after we moved in, we have a garage door for the first time in my life ever. I've never had a garage door. We had a carport. I can't get over the novelty of hitting the button and watching the garage door open. And so I had to take something out to the trash can. I got to take out the trash bag. All right, here I go. Slap. Yeah, it does. All right. Walk out there, toss it in, go back inside. Slap. It's like, yeah, that doesn't get old.
Have you Indiana Jones'd it yet?
No. That just ends with me down on the ground, trapped under the door. Kids, get Mom and my hat.
You know they go back up if you mess up. So
well, okay, that's getting to my point, because it was a novelty I could not get over until I came home from an errand one day and closed the garage door, not the closing garage door, but just the door to the house behind me, and hear a loud pop from the garage. I was like, my wife heard it too, and we were both like, well, that didn't sound good. And I was like, you know what? I bet it was probably one of the sodas in the fridge out there, like rolling down or settling or something, because I just grabbed a soda too. So that's probably all it was. So, okay, that's fine. So later on, have to go somewhere, so I go out the garage door, watch the garage door rise. It's a fun time. Slap the garage door button. Goes up a little bit, comes right back down. Okay, that's not great. Maybe I hit the button too quickly. Try it again. Slap. Nope, it's not going anywhere. Crap. Okay, so that sound was the garage door. What's wrong with it? And my wife kind of is looking it over, like, do I see anything that looks different? She's like, well, I think that spring used to go all the way across, and now it's just dangling there, kind of in the middle. So I think that's probably what broke and why it won't raise up, and that's probably the issue. So I call somebody. Luckily, the people before us had a number already from the people that installed the door before, and that we're able to call them and get them out the next day and look at it. Sure enough, that was the issue. But because that was the issue, it didn't have the manual like reset, like where you can just like disengage it basically and open the garage door. So it was completely stuck. So if I'd gotten stuck under it at that point, there would have been no saving Dad.
Looking at you, I think you could use a day or two stuck in the garage.
It depends on where I got stuck. If it did like my neck, no, I'm fine there, thank you. If it did right on my gut, yeah, I could maybe like roll around and kind of contour things. Like, there we go. No, don't bring me any food. No, this is good for me. There's blood coming out your mouth. It's fine.
We're going to Winnie the Pooh you out of this.
That's exactly what it would be. For some reason, he doesn't have pants on. Why did he do that? I don't know.
He had to Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Michael Scott. I just figured pants off is a better way to go. So the garage door was broken. Then it got fixed. So now we are, because the guy that fixed it, told us like every garage door box or whatever you want to call it has like 20,000 or 30,000 rotations in it. Like it's going to open and close. And once it gets through those, then, it could break. It could be done. So maybe, don't use it all the time for everything. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we could get used to that, sure. So we'll start using the front door more, which just means I get far more notifications about, hey, your wife's going outside to like get the mail or whatever. So today I had a moment where, again, it went off several times. Every time I was like, okay, my daughter's coming home from school. There she is. She's going to school. Okay, I see that. Expected, not a problem. And then at random time in the afternoon, it rings and it's like, oh, don't know who that is. Is it a false? No, there's somebody there. Oh, crap. It's the neighbor kid. He wants to play with my son. I just see his face, like right up in the doorbell. I'm like, he's a nice kid. And I don't really know anything about him. I know his daughter is friends with my daughter. So, and he's
wait,
much
this 5-year-old
older
has a daughter?
No, he's not a 5-year-old. My son is 5 years old. This kid is, I think, in 3rd grade, so he's between my two kids. But I guess because he's a boy, my wife is like, he'll play with our son, which he does to some degree, but they basically just play video games. But it was enough during enough of my work day that I'm just like, I just instantly like, this is going to disrupt my day. They'll keep to themselves and it'll be fine. And he apparently brought some Pokemon cards to trade with my daughter, so they did that. But there's so much screaming coming from out there, and I just lament the fact that my son has a friend. And his unexpected face shows up on the camera outside. I'm like, So, I'm terrible is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we know. When we first moved into the house, my friend and his son came to help me unload a bunch of stuff from the truck. So we're moving stuff, and before we did all that, I'm like, okay, hey, let me give you the tour of the place. So I kind of showed him around, showed him the kitchen, showed him the yard, showed him the upstairs, and like, and through here's the garage. We go into the garage, and the door to the house closes, and it was locked. And so my friend's son starts, we're locked in. Do you have a key to this? Like, no, there's no key to that door. And he starts freaking out really bad. He's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And his dad just looked at him and pushed the garage door opener. And it went, he's like, we're fine, son.
I should have let that go on. Play it out for a bit longer. That could have been a fun situation. He's young. His heart's not going to explode.
Yeah, but that gets annoying quick.
Yeah, that's true.
It goes from hilarious to obnoxious in about 10 seconds.
True, but still, screwing with kids is fun.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
It's the main reason to have them.
For sure. Screw with those kids.
As much as you can. For as long as you can. Make them go to therapy.
If your kids go to therapy and they're like delving into, it's like, okay, so why do you feel unloved and incapable, and that's why you can't perform in bed? And you're like, one time my dad took my nose and he wouldn't give it back. That therapist is gonna smack that person upside the head, as they should.
I like the most innocuous dad just chicanery being the reason why they can't perform in bed or something.
It's like one time, I can't even remember which kid it was, but they were like convinced that owls couldn't be gray, and they were just fighting with my wife about it. And they like came to me and they're like, tell mom that owls can't be gray. Like, they can be gray. They're like, but you said they couldn't. And my wife just looked at me like, yeah, it's smart Alec. You said it at one point, probably a year ago, owls can't be gray, in one of your hilarious jokes. And now I have to deal with it. I'm like, I don't remember that one. Clearly wasn't that hilarious.
I don't think it was necessarily had to be hilarious. It's just the fact that they latched onto that. And yeah, kids will latch on to the weirdest things. It's like, wait, that's what you remember from that? I worked really hard on that joke. You just got that tigers can live in homes as long as their housebroken? Come on. Stupid child.
I mean, wait, that's not true? That's what my dad told me.
Exactly. All dads say that. Because all dads want to live with a tiger after watching The Hangover. It's like, sweet. If Mike Tyson can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, that's what I said about biting people's ears off.
I was really worried with where you were going with that. I was like, oh, Mike Tyson's done lots of salacious things. What's he going to choose? Biting. Okay, that's okay. It's so weird that I remember exactly where I was. And it's even weirder because this house it exists, but it's not their house anymore. So I can't even like go there and like relive the moment. But I remember where I was when I woke up and found out that Mike Tyson had bitten Evander Holyfield's ear and ruined the fight. It's like, of all moments, it's like, do you remember where you were for 9/11? It's like, no, not really. I mean, I was doing a thing. And I remember later on I heard about it. I was like, whoa, that sounds crazy. What? Planes? No way. But it's like, as soon as I remember waking up, coming upstairs from my cousin's house, and finding out somehow from the news or my parents or whoever said, last night in the fight, Mike Tyson bit his ear and like bit part of it off. I'm like, what? This is before the internet, so I couldn't like go to a phone and like look it up all the details. It was like, no, I gotta go to a radio and hear them talk about it or something.
So I also, funnily enough, remember exactly where I was when I found out that Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear off, because my dad was driving me and my friend to a dance, and they said that, not like, it was like one of those, a bunch of friends go together. Like, I wasn't going on a date with my friend. But we were going to this.
I know that.
Okay. Well, you were
Just-
giggling
it's It's still just a weird time. You found out like on the spot.
Oh yeah,
I found
it
out
was
the next
live.
morning, so
like the person came in like in between, Joe Diffie and Garth Brooks songs and said, "We just found out that Mike Tyson in the big fight tonight against Evander Holyfield bit Holyfield's ear clean off. It is unclear at this point how punished Mike Tyson will be, but we're pretty sure he will forfeit the purse for the fight. Now, here's the dance." And my friend
play a lot of Garth Brooks.
yeah, I mean, it was.
I get it. Trust me. I had country stations. I know.
You've been there. You've done that. And my friend just latched onto the phrase Mike Tyson would forfeit his purse, and he thought Mike Tyson had a purse, and he was just giggling the whole way to the dance or the whole way home. Like everyone's like, Mike Tyson has a purse.
I mean, yeah, that is a funny visual if you don't know what an actual like a purse is in that context.
And then 2 days later, we were out at I think my brother's baseball game or something, and the news came and it's like, we're trying to get man on the street opinions of the Mike Tyson thing. Do you want to be on the news telling us what you think? And I'm like, heck yes, I do. So they like asked me a bunch of questions, and I like gave my hard opinion on it. And when I was on the news, it said Steve Shinnie, boxing aficionado. And I'm like, that's going on my business card.
Boxing. How do you not still go with that? Podcaster and boxing aficionado. Oh, does it conceivably, does that footage still exist somewhere?
I mean, I never say never, but I don't know. I don't even remember which station it was. Let me see.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Steve Shinnie's thoughts on this boxing event were. How old were you?
I would have been like between 14 and 15. I don't know. When did it happen? When did Mike Tyson bite Evander Holyfield's ear? Come on, Google.
That's very good.
But yeah, it was in 97. So, yeah, the one thing right below, Mike Tyson claims he made $3 million off Evander Holyfield ear. So, whether or not he got that purse back or not, he definitely.
He could buy several purses after that.
Oh yeah, Louis Vuitton.
And Mike Tyson's the kind of guy, if you saw him with a man bag, you would not say anything about that man bag.
Oh, absolutely not.
Just act like it didn't exist.
I wish they would have called me like Mike Tyson aficionado. That would have been funny. That'd be something I could take to the bank.
But again, he has lots of other scandals associated with him, so you don't necessarily want to be that guy.
Yeah, but for some reason, he is the one person who's done one of the more horrible things. And, he starred in a cartoon with Norm Macdonald. Somehow he's been forgiven because no one is willing to stay mad at him. Between the lisp and the voice and the fact he could kill you with one punch, everyone's just like, we forgive you, Mike. You can be in our movie.
I think it's more the combination of just imminent death from him and the brain scramblies. I think those two things combined is just like, you feel sorry for him because of that, but also you don't ever say anything out of line, any direction, because good Lord, if he punched you, you'd just be dead.
See, now you're lumping that into the same category of George Foreman naming all 4 of his children, male and female, George.
In what way? Because his brains are so scrambled, he forgot when he named his kid George?
Because no one's going to tell George Foreman, hey, stop naming people George. Because it's George Foreman, he could kill you, and also, I mean, he's got the brain scramblies.
But he's also, he made a grill. He made a grill for us to enjoy. That man is much more jovial, I feel like, than Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mike Tyson he could snap at any moment, and you do not know what's going to set him off. George Foreman, I feel like, is much more oh, no, man, it's okay, I don't care. You can say that. Even if you did talk about him naming his... Now, if he's going around the room naming other things, George... And this computer right here, that's George. How you doing, George? And my cup over here, that's George. George the cup. I like that, George cup. And this mouse, Good mouse. That's George the Mouse. I do a one-man show. It's called George Foreman Calls Things George. It's going to be open for one night. No tickets were sold.
Oh, I'm buying a ticket.
Shut immediately.
I am flying out to Virginia. I am watching this. I could watch you pretend to be George Foreman naming things George for hours. I thought the last episode made me happy. That was just pure joy.
The reviewer just states, it's really just the whole concept. It's just such a loser.
The whole show was bad, but it was made worse by one idiot laughing over and over.
Why he felt the need to say, "You're the man now, dog," over and over, as if quoting, yes, Sean Connery from the movie... Crap, I can't remember what movie that is.
I think it's just called You're the Man Now, Dog, the movie.
No, it's not.
It might as well be. What was that? That was Reservoir, You're the Man Now, Dogs.
You're insulting my genius. All right, once the writer's strike is over, I'm going to get to writing that quote-unquote play.
Oh, so that's why you're not writing your movies now, is because you two are on strike?
No, I'm not on strike. I'm supporting the people on strike.
You don't want to be a scab if you were to write
exactly. It's like,
now.
Have you seen what happened to Drew Barrymore this week?
No. What did somebody hurt
Seriously?
Drew Barrymore?
No, she went back to work on her show, and she's a huge scab now, and she had to issue an apology today where she was crying, but she's also like, I'm not going to stop my show. It's like, okay, well then we still hate you. So she's very popular. She's well liked by most people. I'm not. I don't need to scab. I don't need more reasons to hate me.
Fair enough. I would hate to throw you to the wolves of the SAG. And what's the Writers Guild? It's just the Writers Guild. They have in a brief.
Yeah, WGA. Writers Guild of America. Yeah.
Oh, they should have been the Writers of America Guild, so they could be WAG and SAG.
I'm going to have to ask you, because this is such a winning idea, and the strikes are not resolved yet, I'm going to have to ask you to sit on this episode for, until that's resolved.
I mean...
Because I can't have somebody stealing my idea.
If you want to record another episode, it's only 8 o'clock my time.
I'm going to have to let George Foreman Calls Things George. I'm going to have to let it go. We can't love all our babies the same.
Be they screenplays or children. Seriously, Jason, you ruined it. If you want to express your displeasure with him, me, or the show in general, you can find us on Twitter. I am at Idahobo, and Jason is at the Jason Sigler. We also do a webcomics review podcast called Digital Strips.